MapReduce or anything of that sort. I want you guys to get familiarize yourself with those commands. How to have a feel of your environment. That's the first thing that you need to do. Okay, just Google it. Some of those commands you should be able to see. Otherwise, see the moment you put in the help command, which we already saw. So let's directly dive into the sessions now, and that will cover some of how exactly you need to traverse through these commands and how exactly you need to traverse through this environment. You'll get some tips and hints how to do that. Okay, it doesn't make sense. And who exactly was this? It's a new voice for sure. Oh, Kaushik. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's start. Any questions before we start? Today I was referring second lecture. Vikalp. Okay. Okay. I heard Vikalp had some question to initially start with, right? I have a doubt. That's how you started your conversation. Today I was referring to second lecture. There I saw a different node process and data. There I saw different nodes processes. Okay, different nodes process the data, combine the results by master or job tracker. I think all these data are independent, but what if the data is dependent? So is the Hadoop process them? Okay, great point. I think a lot and Google a lot, but no results. Help me. Yeah, data should be independent. If a data is, I'm assuming everyone got the question. So it's a very, very advanced thinking question, Vikram. Great job. So so we were been talking about, I'm just trying to repeat what Vikalp's question is. So we have been talking about no need to think about how exactly this line process. So we need to think only the scenario where you're going to process this particular line, right? That is the statement which I kept on repeating in my previous session. So you need not bother about the remaining lines. Hadoop is automatically going to take care of it. So that's exactly what Vikalp's question is. What happens if it's dependent data? So dependent data you can't process. If there is a dependency between these two data, so we need to find out how exactly you can get it in the isolated environment. So maybe in case this data, so there should be some sort of an independent scenario that you need to bring in, and then only you can process it. If this data is dependent on this data, this one is dependent on this one, no, we cannot use this MapReduce technique, what you're talking about. So for that matter, you think of your actual environment. How are you going to write a program? Okay, so in case you want to write a Java program, C, Fortran, C, COBOL, anything for that matter, you need to have some sort of a specifications for you to write some program, right? So if the data is dependent and you don't really know how exactly the structure is, you will not be able to write a program on top of it. You are able to write a program just because you know that it's been in a shelved manner, or it's there, a proper structure is been or there is an alignment or a structure to the data that you're processing, right? So that's the only reason which is you're able to. I want to talk over voice chat. What do you mean by that? So you want to speak?
Hello?
You can speak.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Actually,
Sure,
yes, I
yeah.
want to speak. Sir, actually, I just want to ask, so how come the Hadoop will know that whether the data is dependent or independent? Actually, yes, you said the data is independent. If it is dependent, then it will not process. So how can it come to know that the data is dependent?
No, every data it's going to process. So that is that intelligence you need to give to the program. So basically, when you're trying to ask the program, so if this line is dependent on this line, Hadoop will treat it as two different lines. There is no dependency for it. Hadoop will pick it up this separately. It's going to pick it up this separately. So in case if you want to do it, then you have to include more logic in your program. Okay, then to make it this three lines chain together. So you have to write that particular logic in place, and then make it together, and then make Hadoop understand. Okay, this is how this first three line treat as your first line. Okay, consecutive next three lines treat as your second line. So like that sort of a logic you have to write. As far
Means
as Hadoop
we have to write the logic. Okay, sir.
Exactly. So as far as Hadoop is concerned, one single line with a slash in character is going to treat it as your next line. Okay, so that's a little advanced topic, so which we may cover maybe in our 7th or 8th session. So how exactly you are going to write a custom builder and all those things. So that's exactly what you're talking about. But as of now, yeah. But to answer your question, no, if there is a dependency, you cannot process it.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank
In
you.
our normal scenario, till now what we have learned. But how to handle it? You need to bring the independency using your logic and then try to chain these two guys together. Sorry, and then you need to do that
Okay,
logically.
okay.
Good question,
Okay, sir.
anyways.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
So it
All
means,
right. So,
hi, this is Manoj.
hey,
So
Manoj.
it means for the input splits, we can write programs for the
Yeah,
input
that's correct.
splits also.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Okay, so we're going to get most of those. See, as Kaushik said, so initially, I mean, how exactly to play around with this environment or this thing. So initial kind of not really able to feel the environment. That's kind of something which you're going to get away today. So you're actually going to run this word count program. So something I have created a data, something of this sort, and then try to play around with that environment. So let's do that entire stuff from scratch, and then you will be able to really maybe appreciate a little or try to feel how exactly that data needs to be processed or stuff like that. Okay, so our intention is trying to run a MAPREDUCE program. So let me close all this stuff, bring up sessions all from scratch. I just tried before it because I should not come over here and firefight how exactly and waste your time. So I tried executing it and things are working fine. So now what we said, I'm assuming you guys remember the MAPREDUCE process which we spoke about, how the mapper work and how the reducer work. And I showed you a small program as well. Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do today. And we are going to execute a MAPREDUCE program. Okay, before executing, let's have a look at how exactly a data is going to look like for us. All right, so to start with, okay, I have my data. So I'm assuming everyone knows now some of those Unix commands to play around with. I'm going to do an ls. In between, I'll try to ask you guys so that I also get a feeling that yeah, you did you're practicing some of those commands. So cd documents ls. Yeah. Okay. So everyone is aware of at least these two. I mean, so make sure you are, in case if you're not familiarized with any of this command which I'm typing, make sure you're stopping me and asking me what exactly is that or stuff like that. Okay. So I'm assuming ls, everyone knows it. Ls minus lrt, that's something which you're normally going to use. Ls minus lrt, which we are going to use. Oh man, why am I typing minus lrt? Okay. So that's the data. Okay. So what I'm trying to do now, I'm going to change directory to data. Okay. And then enter. So in between, what I'm trying to do is I'm just pressing a tab so that, okay, so let me come back once again and then tell you guys. I think I already discussed this. So cd, okay, and then I'm just pressing D and I'm just putting tab. So whatever the remaining stuff, it's going to come up. So just a tip or the hint for some of those guys who is not well accustomed with the Unix environment. All right. Okay. So now what we're trying to see is if I want to read the data, everyone knows it. So instead of cat command, you can do this cat command, Hadoop, right? And just tab. I'm going to see that data. So instead, in my local environment, what I prefer doing is, I think someone has mentioned Vim or something of that sort, right? That's the editor they're going to use. But here we have installed gedit. Yeah, there is an advanced version as well available. So gedit. What exactly is that? Hadoop. Yeah, VNNO. Yeah. Okay, so this is exactly the data which I created. Okay, so Hadoop is wonderful framework and blah blah blah. Okay, Hadoop and all those things. So I have created this data. Now our intention is now to do a word count. So basically what we should see, result as Hadoop, how many number of occurrence of Hadoop is there, how many number of occurrence of Doug is there, name, how many of this. So this word count is typically what we're trying to see. And I'll give you a little bit of funda behind why exactly word count. This is one of the very, 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 very important stuff, a word count, but not many guys know about it. So I'll just share you some of those information about what is the significance of word count in terms of Hadoop environment. or in terms of basically not really Hadoop environment, it's in terms of data scientist or a data science environment. Okay, it's just a knowledge share. All right, so let's move on from that. So now, if I want to do it, so now my intention is just to see. Let me open one environment and another environment for playing around with Hadoop stuff. Okay, so let me be this one environment for me. Next one, this environment. So in case if I want to see what all are the data available in Hadoop, what is the command for me to do that? For doing that, what all are the folder or the directory that is created inside the Hadoop root environment? I need help from you guys. Okay, Hadoop DFS, no, Subta. ls minus LTR. Okay, let's do that. ls minus LTR, ls minus LTR. TR. What's going to happen now? Okay, let's get that clear. What's going to happen when I do an ls minus LTR command? It's good. So make sure whatever you feel like, it'll show in the Linux environment. Exactly, right? It's going to show us in the Linux environment. So try to understand there are two different environments we are talking about. The client, which is now the Linux environment, whereas the Hadoop, which is the Hadoop environment for us, right? And the Hadoop environment. So when I do just ls minus LTR, this is just my Linux environment, right? So just want you to make sure you understand the difference between both those things, okay? And the remaining stuff is correct. Anytime I wanted to hit to the Hadoop environment, or I need to jump to the Hadoop environment, I need to prefix it with Hadoop, okay, or HDFS, anything of this sort, either HDFS or Hadoop. Okay, so when you prefix any of a command with HDFS or Hadoop, that's the only time you're going to directly go and hit the Hadoop environment. Hope everyone is clear with that. This is the first and the foremost thing that you need to know. Okay, I mean it may be slightly. I mean, initial times you may not be able to relate it, and you might have created some mistake. But it's good to know. I mean, just throw in you whatever you feel like, so that we can correct it or just play around with. Great. So now let's HDFS. DFS. Okay, yeah. Everyone showed me the command. Okay, minus ls, and then I'm going a root command. Okay, so now I'm trying to find out what exactly is the command or what exactly is the directories available inside my Hadoop environment. Right, these are the directories available in my Hadoop environment, and I am assuming you guys remember another way of us to see it. Anyone aware of it? So we are given last session, we are given 50070. That's the port number, right? That's the where exactly is that? Yeah, that's a IP and port number. Yeah. So this is how if I go utilities, browse the file system, and I should be seeing exactly the same what we saw over there: customer, ECA, data. So this is a GUI form. How exactly I can see that data, right? Let's move on now. Okay, now from here, so in case if I want to see the directories that is present inside my data, what should I be doing? What all are the directories or the file which is sitting inside my data? What should I be doing? What should be my command for that? There you go. That's really what I wanted to catch one by one. Okay, CD data. So now how many of you agree? How many of you disagree? Okay, something from how many of you? So this data is where sitting inside which environment? I mean, I truly understand. That's great. So good that you said HDFS CD data. Great. That's what I expect you guys to say, right, Kaushik? Because we said anytime whatever I want to do, I should be prefixing it with HDFS, right? So that's exactly what it is. So now, so HDFS CD data, right? So there is no change directory command available inside there is no CD command available inside my Hadoop environment. So in case if you want to see the data, okay, this is very important stuff, okay, because now you may hear it like a hummingbird or the song coming from your ear. When you actually try to exactly, I mean, just like the way Kaushik said, when you try to actually play around with the environment, you'll be all stuck. You'll not be knowing where to go. Okay, that's exactly how you're going to end up with. So first thing, what do you understand? There is no change directory command. So in case anyone give me the right command, I think Mac has made it. ls minus, exactly. So that's I'm going to put. So I am used to this HDFS. So maybe you guys, whoever is used to Hadoop, you can do Hadoop. So Hadoop DFS. So HDFS DFS minus ls. Okay, remember about this minus ls slash. I'm trying to see what is inside this data. So slash data. One thing what you need to understand is when you do this command, it's not like you're permanently going to sit inside this data. Okay, let me explain that. So when I do this command, yes, it's telling me. Let me expand this slightly. So that okay. Not able to expand. So if I maximize my environment, I will not be able to see anything other than the virtual machine. So that's why I don't want to do that. Not able to expand even this. Okay, let me put in your chat window slightly somewhere else, and then bring this down slightly. Okay. Okay. So I'm assuming everyone got this stuff. Anyone not clear about how this, I got this files inside the slash data folder. So even now, when I went inside data, now, even though, yeah, so it's not inside the data folder. So in case if you want to go inside a zookeeper or inside user, so how will I go inside a user now? If you want to go inside this user command? No CD in Hadoop. That's yeah. So how exactly I'll take the data inside this user now? Great, right? HDFS DFS minus ls slash user. That's exactly how I'm going to do it. So hope everyone understood that trick. Now let's go to the next guy now. So now, how do I read this command? How do I read this file? Hadoop text. I wanted to read this particular data that is sitting inside the Hadoop text. Okay, before that, let's do one thing. Leave this guy right now. So let's do that, everyone. Text. Okay, delete it. Fine. We are not getting in directory, just viewing it. Exactly. We are not getting into the directory, just viewing it. Yeah, that's one way of telling it, Kaushik. Thanks. That's exactly, I think I should be telling. We are not really getting inside the directory, just viewing it. Great. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of help I would need from you guys. Okay, I mean, so if you think, okay, this is how you're able to visualize it and speak it, just put it on the word so that I can repeat it so that everyone is also able to speak in terms of how exactly you guys understood it. It's pretty cool stuff. Yes, Jing, cool stuff. Yes, Vikal. So now my intention is, where exactly am I? CD. So I'm going to CD documents, ls. I do have something known as data, CD data. Okay, CD data. Hope I'm not fast. CD data. I think this font looks pretty small. I'm sorry for that. I don't know if I can. Is there any way of expanding or increasing the font? Right now, I don't know, but I don't want to spend too much of time for that right now. Okay. So now if I put an ls, I have my Hadoop text. So this data is now inside my, which environment is this? Great. Local environment or Linux environment or my client environment or whatever I call it. Okay, great. So now my intention is I need to put this data, okay, this particular Hadoop text into my Hadoop environment. How will I do that? What's the command for me to do that? So hope my intention is clear with everyone. So what I'm trying to do is put command. Great. Okay, so let's do a put command. So can you help me out? Yeah, Hadoop DFS minus put. Great. So HDFS HDFS DFS minus put, and then what I need to give? I need to give my input path, right? So now I'm going to give Hadoop text, right? and then where I want to place it. So that exact directory I need to mention. So I know that it's going to / data, and then I'm going to just do this. Mac, you're ready with all the commands. All right. Yeah, Mac is ready with all the commands. Okay. So HDFS, DFS minus put. So make sure that everyone is able to understand in the same page. Okay. So make sure I want everyone to be in the same page or able to understand it. So even if any single guy over here is not able to figure out what exactly happening, make sure you are raising your hand. So because this is the base step, once you're getting little bit of hands on it, dirty your hands on it, and then able to figure it out, rest journey is pretty smooth for you guys. So make sure the initial couple of sessions you really take some time, try to play around with the environment, and then try to come up with make a record of your learnings, whatever you did, and stuff like that. That way you will be able to make a smooth sail. For input file name, we need not specify exact path for it. Okay. I mean, good question, Kaushik. So since Mac has put this stuff, so I was assuming some of you guys is going to this thing. Why exactly I didn't give a complete path? Because, okay, let me go back. So this, if I do an ls, which is the local environment, it's exactly, this is where my file is sitting. Okay. So in case if it's, yeah, so let's do that. Let's do that. So now I did a yeah, so I did a CD. Now I'm going to do this. Okay. Let's try doing that command. Okay. So what did I do? This Hadoop text. So all these things, I want you guys to see whatever is there in your mind. Just make sure you're noting it down, and you yourself need to try out all those things and make you're pretty confident that, okay, I mean, this scenario, if I do this command, it's not going to work. This scenario, if I do this particular command, is going to work. So that kind of a confident level you need to be in. Try and play around with each and every of those commands. So let's try that command now. Right? HDFS GFS minus what put command, right? And then Hadoop txt. Is this going to work or not? Hadoop txt, and I know to put it in data, right? We don't know. No, you need to know, because when I did an ls command, what does ls command did? It showed me only this advanced MAPREDUCE, a.out, data, flume, and jar. This is all it showed me, and there is no file known as Hadoop. So let's try running this command. What's going to happen? So it's telling Hadoop.txt, no such kind of find out directory available. Okay, so that's exactly. So when I do ls, that's what's happening. So I'm going to go inside, or you can do the complete path. So since I don't want to type in so much from the beginning, that's the reason I'm just going to give cd data, and then I'm going to go inside and type in this exact command. Okay. So before that, let's have a look, and let's open a new terminal and play around with. Where is this guy? Here. Okay. So Hadoop DFS minus ls. Everyone told me that they are aware of this stuff. Hadoop. Okay. Let's do one thing. So now it's not showing you any data because this data there is nothing available in data. So now let's do one thing. HDFS. Okay, let's learn together. I wanted to delete this particular data directory. What should I be doing? What is the command for that? I want to delete this particular directory. Right? Right. HDFS, DFS, right? I'm just going to do, okay. So if I do this command, remove, what is going to tell me? Exactly. It's not a directory. So now I'm just going to do a RMDAR, right? It's going to delete it, and it's deleted. Okay, remaining funda. Yeah, can't delete directory. Yes. So that's fair. So now I have deleted now. Okay. So how do I confirm? HDFS DFS minus ls, and when I do a root, I should not be able to see a data inside that, right? So I don't see a data. Now, how do I create a data file? So now I just want to do everything from the scratch so that you guys have a feel of it. I mean, that's all my intention. Now I want to create a data file. How do I do that? HDFS, GFS. Everyone is quite familiar with this command now. Okay. Now what should I be doing? I want to create a directory inside this environment, inside the root directory. Make directory. Perfect. So everyone need to, Kaushik, you need to remember, don't forget about the minus sign, minus mkdir. Okay. Yeah, mkdir and my slash data. Fine. Great. I mean, these are very, very simple things which his mind is working out. Okay. So make sure you don't rely on this step. You yourself are trying to, playing around this environment so that you really know, because you may not be telling minus, but I will be directly writing the minus and doing it. And after 5 days, you're saying he was doing something. What am I doing wrong? You may really struggle on it. So make sure you yourself are trying it out and then making sure, okay, yeah, I did it. I created this directory and all those stuff. Okay. So now when I do an HDFS, DFS, minus ls and slash, I'm just going to have my data created, right? So this is my data. So now what we're going to do, we are going to do a put command. So let's come to this guy. Yeah. So this command, Hadoop and slash data. Yeah, that's exactly how it'll happen. Yeah, I know it because even it happened with me too, right? So we are all sailors of the same boat. Only thing is my boat, I slightly took a little bit, okay, where it worked. Yeah, so I guess it worked. Right? So now if I want to see the data inside, we already said ls and data. And if I want to see the command, did we say that? And now the data is now sitting inside the this file in the Hadoop text, right? Sorry, the Hadoop environment inside my slash data, and this is my file. How do I figure out which file or directory? We spoke about in the first session. So here it says, if it's a directory, it's going to tell it as a D, right? Yeah. If it's not a directory, it's going to be just a slash. So now next question, how do I see this, view this content of this particular file? So anyway, this I need not confirm, HDFS, GFS, everyone knows it. Now what? Minus cat, great, right? Minus cat, okay, tell me the full command. Minus cat what? Exactly, the directory path. So that's a key thing. So minus cat, and it should not be just this step. So entire step I need to give from the root. Copy from the root. I need to mention that's why I was trying to say. So copy and paste, right? Enter. So I can see exactly the same data. Hadoop is a wonderful framework. Hadoop is brainchild of Doug name creation, Dougson, right? So we have got familiarized with some of those commands in Hadoop. And if you want to know more about it, how do I do that? If I want to learn more commands in Hadoop, to know more commands in Hadoop, yeah, minus help, right? So just do that. And these are the only available commands. So make sure you are getting familiarized with this. So you can see the first entire commands would be given over here. Where is it now? Let's see how big it is, the list. Yeah. So this is the small list. And this list explains, there are many commands even if I have never used also. Okay. I really, to be frank, there are many commands out here which I really don't know what is the purpose of it. Not many, but some of those. So yeah. So after that, there is an explanation given. What exactly is this going to do? Cat, checksum, what exactly, change group, change mode, all this command. So try to play around with this so that you can get pretty much comfortable with these commands. Okay. So now all that being said, now we have a data stored in our environment, and my data nothing but Hadoop text is my input file, right? So now what we're going to do is we are going to write a MAPREDUCE program on that particular text file. Okay, we have that text file and we're going to write a MAPREDUCE program and then see the word count. The number of words existing in that particular file is what you're going to see. And for that, I am going to write a MAPREDUCE program. So let me pick this up. Let me file exit so that I pick up everything from scratch. Okay. So how do you see in terms of Eclipse? If you're using Cloudera, you should be able to see Eclipse environment. If you have customized build it, you may have to install the Eclipse inside your environment and start doing it. Not many other tools I have used or I'm familiar with other than, yeah, I know that there are many other tools which you can use, go for Eclipse on Ubuntu. Yeah, that's the IDE I'm talking about. Correct. Yeah, so Eclipse, okay, great, Mac. Yeah, so you have installed Eclipse. So this, in case you're using a Catgill VM, so this is the guy you need to click on, the fish, you need to fish. Okay, and then home workspace, okay. And I have a couple of my programs already written in, and I'm going to share with you guys. I'm pretty hungry, I guess. I'm blabbering something. Some of how exactly you can reach to this stage. And SN, okay, recycle bin, I guess. Okay. So what you can do is there is complete program given for, you need to take it up from our dashboard and place it over there. Okay. Or if you want, you can write from the scratch, which is not really intelligent way of doing stuff. But let me show you where exactly you can see all the stuff in the dashboard. Oh. I think my sharing is now going to go. Okay. Are you guys able to see me? See my screen? All right. Great. Okay. Let me move on. Let me move this guy to somewhere else. I can't get learn. Let me bring on to that. Oh, why is it asking me to log in again? Hope I'm not goofing up with session if I do all those things. Sorry guys, I don't want to do that because in case if this recording is not in place, I might be in trouble. Okay, so basically where you need to see is if you see in your dashboard, why is it asking me to log in again? That's strange. Okay, let's take a chance. Oh man, don't tell me this. Okay, and see, all right, and see this. Is that in the dashboard available? No, it's not in the dashboard. It's available in the dashboard. Okay, this is the same stuff available. Okay, yeah, I'm assuming it should not have been Tuesday, Thursday, right? Okay, yeah. So here, if you click on this content, click here for the course content, okay? And then I'm assuming you guys know how to traverse through. And when you click on this course, this is where each content, what exactly is the data you need to play around with and all the stuff. So today's is our 6th session, right? So session number 6, MAPREDUCE example demo. Click on this, okay? And if you go to code example, the entire stuff is going to get downloaded. The entire code, whatever we are talking about, entire stuff is going to get downloaded. You can put it in your Eclipse environment and start playing around with that, okay? So that you don't need to write all the code. So already I have downloaded. And it's available inside download. Yeah, this is where it's available for me. So these are the call data records, temperature record, word count jar, and all those things. And here there is another document available which says step-by-step instructions. So how exactly you can execute the MAPREDUCE program. And I think I have opened that document. No, not really. Okay, and then let me open it. Yeah, This is going to give you the complete information of what needs to be done and how exactly you, step by step, how, yeah, so project name, how to create in the Java thing, any issues facing over here. So how exactly you can get into a Java, how exactly you can build a path. So line by line, step by step, the complete instruction is given over here. So make sure, I'm going to show you also in a high level view. So in case if after this, make sure you're opening this document and trying to do the Java code and then trying to execute it, build a jar and stuff like that. Okay, so in case we're facing some issues, immediately make sure you're putting a note to the support team, as well as we can discuss on the next session as well. Okay, so go through this document. It's a pretty line by line, very elaborate document, how exactly you can execute stuff that's given over here. Okay, so hope everyone is aware of how exactly you can traverse through till there. Now when I get into here, documents, now where is it? Okay, okay, where do I need to go? Sorry, I did not come over here. I can directly pick up this stuff. Okay, yeah, today's recording would not have it. I mean, today's slide is not having anything. So word count example, weather data problem, and call data records. That's the 3 steps what you're going to have. So out of which I'm going to explain you guys this 2 step as much as possible. My intention is I want to go really in deep how exactly the word count, so that you have the complete skeleton build, or you have the foundation being laid. Remaining the weather data problem, you should be able to handle it very easily. Okay. All right. So all that being said, we're going to play around with the environment now. Let's go on acad guild. Yeah, that's my password, as if you guys don't know. All right. Okay. Okay. So now where are we? Word count or Java? Okay. So let me explain you at a high level view. So creating stuff, just make sure you guys are relying on that document, how exactly to create. So file, new, first you're going to create a project. Okay, click on the project and you're going to get a new project. Okay, inside the project. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have multiple. So now going to have multiple packages. Let me see a source package created. Inside the default package is what I have. So I'm going to just right click again over here, new, and there is package. Okay, the moment I click on the package, I get this package created. Okay, so all these are explained completely level by level inside the document which I'm talking about. Okay, so make sure you're trying to do that. Okay, and then once a package is created, I'm going to again right click, new, and I'm going to just mention as what I had to mention as the class. Okay, sorry. So inside. Yeah. So that's where I have my, yeah. So post which I'm going to create a class file and a Java program. Double click on this. So I'll get an empty editor kind of stuff, right? Just copy paste the document, whatever is the program that you got, which should be available from that particular downloaded document. And I have my entire stuff downloaded over here now. Okay, I have entire stuff. So initially you may end up having a lot of error, just because of the reason that our Java program is not able to understand many of the stuff that you guys are talking about. Okay, so basically the things like Hadoop, org.apache.hadoop.mapreduce, nothing Java knows. Hadoop, Apache, all these things are pretty new to Java guys. So what we need to do, we need to give the corresponding installable for it, or the class file for it, okay, or the jar file for it, right? So what I'm going to do is right click. How do you do it? Even that is available on the document, but at a very high level view, I'm giving it. Right click. When you do a right click over here path, okay? Right? Once again, let me do that. This is the file name, which is my Java file which I created. Right click on the Java file, build path, configure build path. So once I configure build path, what's going to happen? Libraries, okay? And then create add external jar. Okay? So that's where I'm going to add complete external jar. So I may have to go directly somewhere, put in the jar, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click OK, so that all these jars are getting extended. So I have picked up some of the jars from multiple locations and picked it up, and then I'm going to click OK. That means every jar is available for me. So that's the time all my errors will get removed. So here otherwise you'll be able to see a lot of errors. So all this error is going to get removed. So you guys, when you do, there might be all red lines. So even with that red lines, you have the screenshot available in the document which I showed you. Okay. So once you do that, so let's try that build jar. Let's see how many of you have a sharp memory of pick it up. So what I should be doing? Right click. Okay. Now tell which location I need to go. At least I'll take up one guy's instruction and try to go build path. Great. So build path, right? And now after what? After that, configure build path, right? Configure build path. I'm going to click on that. Configure build path. Now what? After configure build path, great. Libraries? No. So after configure build path, I need to go to libraries, right? Libraries, and then add external jar. And then I need to find out where exactly my jar will be. So that information will be available inside the document. So I need to go traverse through maybe documents, even I forgot where exactly I need to traverse through. Acadgil, home, and all those things, and pick up these jars, and then come up and click on OK. Okay, and click on OK to it. Then you will get all your jars added, and that will remove all your errors that you may be able to see. Yes, you can even do that, Mike. Yeah, or can create a user library and add that build path over there. That's correct. Yeah, so that's multiple way of doing it. Okay, so now after this, once I have it, all those error corrected, I don't have any error right now, right? I don't have any error right now. So once everything is corrected, what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to right click, okay, export. Okay, so now, okay, I do have a class path available, Java file available now. What is my intention next? What should be my intention? I need to create an executable out of it, right? So this is just a Java file which I written, and now I need to make it a machine understandable form, or create an exe out of it, or create a class out of it, or create a jar file out of it, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to do over here now. Okay, so I'm going to create a jar file. So how exactly I'm going to create a jar? So right click. Yes, that's how exactly we're going to see, Pramod. We're going to do that. So export. Okay, and I'm going to make it as a jar. Next. Okay. So I'm going to browse through. Click on next. Click on next. Yeah. So I think I already have a WC01 created. Let me make it as WC02. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to do, I have created, so you can choose any location wherever you want. So what I did is home, Acadgil, I created a jar folder. Okay. Inside jar, I'm just mentioning WC02 is a jar which I wanted to create. Okay. And then I'm creating next. And again, next. Then here, what I need to tell is what exactly is my main class. I need to show my main class over here. So word count is my main class. Okay. Because I have 3 class files created in that particular program. So let me show that 3 class file for you guys. So let me show you that 3 class file. Anyway, I'm going to explain something of. Oh, okay. Since I'm in this environment, okay. Let's do that. Let me show you 3 class files. Okay. So it's asking which is the main class. It's picked up the main class, and then I'm going to just do a finish. So WC02 is my jar file. Okay, remember that. So now 3 main class is, 3 class file which I created is. See, first one is this class file. Okay, word count, right? Now inside that, any questions? Not really. I'll just explain to you. I mean, once let's have that feel of it. After that, I'll make you understand the program pretty nicely. I mean, it's not a horrible program. You'll be able to see. That's a guarantee I'm giving you guys. It's pretty simple stuff. So let's move on that. The first class file. Okay. So try to understand. What's happening? There is our stuff. Okay. Yeah. So 3 section. We told we have 3 section created now. One is the driver program. One is the main class. Inside that, now I have 2 different classes. So first one is my first class. After that, I have created. Okay, tokenizer, mapper, extends mapper. This is tokenizer, mapper. Okay. Okay, I was playing around with another map. I'll show you a slightly simple program to start with so that you guys don't get so confused about this stuff. For that, I need to go to some other environment. Okay, no issues. I'll do that. Or do I have that somewhere? Word count. Let me see if I have that simple program. Okay, this is the one. Okay, I'll show with that, but I'll execute this because I've already executed this. That may hit some issues. So to explaining thing, I'll pick that WC example. Okay, so now other 3 class file which I have is, as I said, this is 1. Okay, completely reduced. This is another 2. Let me remove that, and another 3. Okay. So this is my mapper class. This is my reducer class, and this is my main class. So altogether I have just 3 steps. Okay, this is my main class. Altogether, this is where I have my driver information written. So this have my mapper information. This has my reducer information, and this is my driver information. Okay. So hope this is clear with everyone. Mapper, reducer, and driver. 3 steps which you spoke about. Yeah, there is a different ways of doing it. So either you could have done 3 different files. I can have this driver in one file. I can have my mapper in another file. I can have my reducer in another file. Okay, so that we can do, or we can have mapper separate class, driver separate class, this thing. So now what we have is the main, driver class is the main class now. Correct, driver class is the main class. Okay, so now let's first execute this and see what's happening, and after that we'll get into the one by one. So hope you know what exactly is our business requirement, right? So I just need to find the count of it. Correct? That's exactly what I'm trying to do. The count of but yes, where is the program for taking input? Yes. So that's what we're going to see. So right now you just need to understand this. What you just need to understand is this program is going to pick up an input file. Okay, just going to pick up an input file. Read that, and that input file. Let's look into Hadoop text file exactly. So that is our guy. Vanished. Yeah, this is our guy. Okay, Hadoop text. Yeah, so he's going to take up this particular data, which is sitting in our Hadoop environment. And then sitting inside the Hadoop environment, and it's going to count each of this word and then give you the result, and then it store it into whichever file we're going to mention. Okay, so let me delete this output file also. I think I have already created an output file. HDFS DFS -ls slash data. Oh, sorry, not slash data. I think slash out. Okay, one key funda that you need to. Okay, is having so many data. So what we need to do is rm -r. Yeah, so that's done. So let's create this file now. Let's execute this data. Okay, and you guys remember where exactly that is sitting. So if I do a cd tilde sign, does everyone know what exactly the tilde sign is going to do? Tilde sign is nothing but just below your escape key. Is where you can see it. What cd tilde sign is going to do? Is going to take you to the home environment. No, not previous directory. It's going to take you to the not even root directory. That's also wrong. It's not previous directory. It's not root directory. It's going to be your home directory. Okay. There's a difference between home directory and a root directory. Hope everyone is aware of that. Root, when I do a CD, this is where the root directory is, right? And this CD, when I do a tilde sign, is what reaching into my home directory. Correct? All right. So when I do an ls, or when I do a present working directory, PW, right? So that time is going to tell me home/acadgle. This is my home directory, right? Yes, home is respective to user, right? So this is my home directory now. So that's the difference that you can see. So let's do that. So slash, if you set root directory, when I do a PWD, where exactly where I am, it's going to show me, yeah, this is where I am in the root, right? So now I'm going to cd tilde sign. Then I'm going to be present working directory. It's going to take me to home and acadgle, right? Hope everyone is fine with that. Now I think I have created what ls. Okay, this is the jar file where I place my data. So cd jar ls wc02, right? This is what we created. So the command now, what we are trying to do now, execute our Java program. They have created already a jar file, execute it, right? So to execute a jar file or execute this command, what I should be doing, Hadoop. Okay, so here HDFS is not going to work. Remember that. Here HDFS is not going to work. Here only the Hadoop is going to work. Hadoop Hadoop jar. Okay, Hadoop jar. Then I'm going to give my jar file name 02. Okay, and then what is my input file? Slash data Hadoop T. It's case sensitive. Okay, Hadoop text T was capital and slash. Now I'm giving over here a directory name. Okay, the one thumb rule, what you need to understand is this directory which I'm going to mention should not exist in that environment. Every time you're going to give, this should be a new environment. Sorry, new directory, not new environment. It should be a new directory, because you know why they would have done that. So we are going to deal with maybe a terabytes of data or a humongous amount of data, right? So in case if it was unable to override it, we would have been screwed up. So some programs, or most of the programs in the Hadoop environment, when it's going to run, it's going to run for 3 or 4 hours, right? Which in the traditional environment, which is running for 4 days or 5 days, now it's running for 4 hours. So after 4 hours of execution, okay, after 4 hours of execution, Vikalp has created one file over here, right? And then what exactly happened? Kaushik went ahead and started executing it, and then made another file right on top of it. What will happen? Vikalp will start coming up with a. So that's exactly the scenario. So it should never overwrite it, right? That's a key funda behind. So for that purpose, very simple stuff. What they did, you cannot really overwrite. Okay. So that's how the scenario has been built. So whenever you're going to create an output file, it should be always a new file that's going to get created. All right. So enter. So let's see. So now observe some of this thing happening over here. Tick, 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 tick. What's happening? Yes, we deleted our directory just before running this program. Yes, that's what we did. So see, now map and reducer, that's what happening. So mapper is 0%, reducer is 0%. Now the job is executing. Now mapper has become 100%, reducer is 0%. So mapper is completed. Now the reducer has kicked off. Yeah, so that is then everything has happened. So mapper, so it has started with mapper 0% and reducer. This is how the job started. Now mapper has done some processing and created 100%. After that, reducer start kicking off at 0%, and finally you can see the seconds difference. There should be minor second difference. So by the time reducer has become, it's 8 seconds, right? So this is 20 seconds. So from here, so this is 10-second difference, and here is an 8-second difference by the time everything's completed, right? And the number of counters, what exactly is the value? Counter is going to give you the statistics of what exactly happening. So how many number of read. What I would recommend you guys is try to create a data. Try to understand what exactly is the number of files written or number of data written and stuff like that. Create a small file so that you understand how many number of lines are there, how many number of records are there, how many number of words are there, all those things, and then try to correlate it with so that you understand each and every of this. So how many number of read operation happens. So try to understand what exactly is a counter, not entire data. I mean, entire whatever it's been provided, but try to understand most of the thing, which is pretty straightforward and simple and straightforward. So you should be able to figure out that. So one simple step, map input record. We have created in our step. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 records. Okay. How many number of output records is created? 23. It's created. So let's have a look at it. So all those things, spill record, shuffle, and all those things. You're going to learn a little bit more in detail in the coming sessions. Okay. So this is what the statistics talks about. Okay. So now let's look into the details. So HDFS DFS minus LS. Where exactly was our data present? Where did we place our data? Let's see over here itself. Slash out, correct. So how do I see that now? Okay. Okay, I think I should not have done the command. I should have asked you guys. One key thing, I mean, yesterday's question. So one key thing that it's directly being placed in the Hadoop environment. HDFS DFS minus LS slash out. So out is nothing but when you give it, it's going to be a directory. That's something which understanding which you need to have. Okay. So, okay, let's do that. Let's do sirf only slash. Okay. So now you can see slash out, which is nothing but a directory, right? So inside the slash out, what you can see 2 files created. One is success file and one is a part-r-0000. All right. So let's just have a look. HDFS, DFS minus. So, okay, let me tell you what is the significance of this part. So this is the naming convention. It's going to be part. And what's the next word that has been written over here is the. But so what it means is it has gone through a reduced process. That's what this R signifies. Okay. And if there were multiple files available, because if it's going to be a huge file, okay. And if our default was 64 MB, I think many of you asked this question in the initial session. It was 64 MB. What would have happened is it would have gone through the next phase and it would have created the next one, which is going to be 002. So you would be able to see 2 different files in that case. If the data crossed the 64 MB limit, so first file would have been 00001, sorry 0, and the next one would have been 00001, 5 zeros. Okay, so let's sorry. So now let me show you guys HDFS DFS minus LS. Let's do a cat itself directly, minus cat, and let's show you the output. Copy and then paste this command. Okay, so this is how exactly your data is going to look like, right? So you can see for Doug dot also it's been greatly, right? So let's look at So let's look into the input file and output file, right? This is my input file. Let's bring it in the proper sequence itself. Let's bring this guy over here. And let's bring this guy. Let's bring this guy over here. Okay, so you can see Hadoop and Hadoop dot both will be treated differently, because otherwise you have to write in logic telling that, okay, treat this dot and not dot voila, because this entire step is taken as one single character. Whatever comes after the space is going to treat it as one single word, and that's how the logic is written. And see the Doug, how many appearance of Doug is there? How many appearance of Doug is there? And this is in the what exactly you say? I mean, it's in the sorted order. Okay, this particular data is sorted out. I mean, sorted result is what you're going to get. So Doug is been 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2. So 2 you can see, and one Doug is there over here. Is this one? This guy. This is 1, and A. Where is A? So 1 A is there over here. One another A. So 2. So now remaining all guys are 1. Let's see Hadoop. Hadoop is 1 and 2. This is there. And Hadoop dot, and Hadoop dot 2. And S, where is this? 2, you can see. Named, one named. Where is another name? There's another named, right? So remaining 1. Are you convinced with the result? So any questions on this part now? After that, let's dig into the program. And I think we will not have much of a convincing. We'll not have much time for covering the temperatures thing. So temperature we'll cover on the next session at a high level view before getting into the big session. Okay, so is this fine with everyone?
One question here.
Sure.
So output file will be one, or it can be multiple file?
It can be multiple file. That's exactly what I said, right? So in case if your file was huge enough, so think like this, you are taking it a very small example, right? 4 record. Instead, bring in a huge file, your PDF or maybe your huge file. If you do that, that's exactly, it's going to be a humongous amount of data coming in. And that count, if you do, that is going to be a huge file. And if it exceeds the Hadoop's parameter or Hadoop's limit that you have defined, right, 64 MB limit, it's going to make it into 2 different files. It's going to make, the first one is going to be in Hadoop 001. Next one is going to be in Hadoop 0002. Sorry.
So we need to look on multiple files if we want to see the outputs.
Yeah, you can try it out. Pick a very, very huge file and then try to run this program. So this program is there with you. Try to have a huge file and then to run this multiple files over here with R-0002. Have 999 output files. Yes, you should be able to have 999. I'm not sure if that is the limit. There is a real limit over here. It may be able to. It may override the existing. I'm not really sure about that fact, Chandran. I should have checked out or looked into that stuff. But let me see if I can find out that maximum number of files. Yeah.
So in real time data, with real time data, so the output will be multiple files.
Exactly.
So it's visible. I mean,
exactly. Yes, that's what we're going to see. So, but it all depends on the real time scenario what you have. So your real time scenario might be as simple as that, getting a select count or anything of that sort. I mean, that's no matter what is the report you're going to write. So in the report is only 1 or 2 lines of data, but getting that 1 or 2 lines of data, it might be running 4 hours. So it all depends on what sort of a data, right? What sort of an output you need. So in case if you're huge output, you're going to get multiple output. You're going to get multiple files as an output. Okay. And then if your question is now, okay, in case if it's how to combine, you may have to just do get merge or any of those command, and you can just merge it together and send it to wherever required. So that's how the processing is going to happen.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. All right.
Exporting
the class file to jar file after every modification. I'm just trying to read the exporting the class to jar file after every modification isn't a overhead. Can we run the class from Eclipse itself? No, you cannot run the class from the Eclipse itself. That's not possible. So what you need to do is you need to create an export and create a jar file, and then that is only possible because it's not a real run, right? What exactly you're trying to do is you are doing it with the Hadoop environment, correct? So this is exactly your, where is it? This is exactly in your jar file, correct? So your Eclipse, I am not okay. So one thing to say, I mean, I am really not sure if there is a possible of a plugin available which can connect Eclipse to Hadoop environment, which I doubt whether it's there, or Hadoop has come up with the latest one. Test the code with local data. Yes, you can do a test the code with. That's where you have MR unit available for doing that kind of a test. It's available for you. So instead of, I mean, those guys who are familiar with JUnit, so exactly the similar kind of JUnit, we have something known as an MR unit. So that's for testing the code. But if you want to go the code into the Hadoop environment, this you may have to create an export file, jar file, and then create exactly this way. So that's how you execute your environment. Okay, I heard someone asking some questions. Sorry.
Yeah, this is Bhavna here.
Yes, sir.
For this program, I see one mapper and one reducer executed, right?
Okay, yeah, that's correct.
But in one of the session, I remember you have explained for each input split, one mapper is going to execute.
That's correct. So each input split, each corresponding mapper is going to execute. So 3 input split, I have 3 mapper. That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
So here input split is run only one?
Yes. Input split is only one because otherwise I need to have a file which is greater than 60. I think this should be 128 MB. So it should be greater than 128. So all these things you can try it on your own. Okay. So what I would recommend is make a file which is greater than 128 MB, pick up a big file, and that is the one which you can try executing. So what you should be seeing is, so this is where exactly you can see. You should be able to see even where exactly is one mapper and one reducer. It should tell you somewhere it's the number of splits. So that's what giving you number of splits. It should even tell you how many number of mapper and reducer execute. Where exactly is that? How many number of map tasks? Yeah, there you go. The launch map task equal to 1. Launch reduce task is equal to 1. So this is what. So in case we're going to use a huge number of files, so that's how you are going to have your. If you have more than 64 MB, that's so basically input split. How exactly it's logical cutting of the block size is what the input split is going to pick up, right? So that according to that, you're going to have that many number of map tasks. So in case if it's going to be 150 MB of file, then you're going to see 2 mapper going to run. File size divided by block size. That's okay, exactly. That's correct. Mapper equal to file size divided by block size. That's correct. That's a good math, Mac. Because so as we said, 150. So what will happen? 128 will be sitting in one input split. 128, not exactly 128, near to 128 or maybe 130 or something of that sort. The remaining 20 will be sitting in the next input split, right? Because next block size will create a next input split data, and then it's going to get processed.
Okay. Yeah, Chandran here.
Hey, Chandran.
Yeah, if we in our environment we have only one name node, right? Suppose we need more than one name node, how to create that like environment?
You can create it. I mean, for that you should have there's a distributed environment. Sorry, there is a distributed. Some document is available for. I mean, which environment are you? Are you in a Cadgill environment or the Cloud environment?
Like suppose I wanted more than one name node, I wanted to call.
I got it. So you're trying to do with this in your Cadgill VM, or you have created your own instance, right? Yes, there is a document where you can have multiple created and creating. So for that, you need to make as an active and passive. So their document, I guess yesterday, which I showed, Nicole's document, or is the document, the Cloudera. So you need to rely on that. Cloudera multi-cluster, correct. That's exactly what it is. Multi-cluster. In that multi-cluster node setup, you may have to see environment. Yeah, that's exactly what you need to search for. So it's not an easy setup. There is multiple name. I mean, there is a multiple host file. You need to start interacting and all those things. So those information should be given over here. So if you search for the multi setup, you should be able to see that. Okay, that will be an index for you to figure out. Okay. Yeah. So before getting the multiple node, what I would recommend is try to get multiple data node itself. Okay, because the environment which you are playing around is a single data node. So multiple name node you are really not going to see. So multiple name node is known as a federation. Okay, so that's a little more advanced in topic. So instead of multiple name node, what I guess, I mean, in case you're trying to play around with it, the first instance, what you should be able to create data node. So that's exactly that document will cover how exactly that needs to be done. So these are all administrative level. I mean, so that document will be having those information, how to create the multiple data node, and you'll have a multi-distributed environment, multi-cluster environment is what you got. But no, it's not actually multi-cluster, multi-distributed environment. It's one single cluster. What is called distributed environment? It's just distributed environment, correct? Create distributed cluster. That's what it's called. Distributed means you have multiple nodes available. Or what we are playing around is pseudo distributed or single environment, single node environment. So it's just distributed environment. Just set up distributed environment. Distributed Hadoop environment is what you need to give a search for. Yeah. So one of my previous, I mean, not from this one where I was doing a live session. So one of the guy have actually created an environment. I mean, I was interested in knowing that because I have not played around with much of the administrative part of it, because I'm more into a data analytics part is what I'm mostly covering. What he has done is, I mean, he stays in the PG, so what he picked up some couple of laptops and then he made an environment. That's how exactly he made it. So in case if you guys are there, you have multiple laptops available, you can even try getting those kind of a setup done. But I really don't know how to do it. I mean, let me be very frank and open to you, because that was my area of expertise. Yes, you can create multiple VM for multiple data node. Yes, you can do that. And there are some in the same machine. Yes, you can do that. There is some good YouTube video also available for that, but I'm not sure whether if I will be able to try to fetch it, because when I was doing my learning, I was looking into that particular VM stuff and trying to play around. But then what will happen is once you get into this environment, there's a huge learning left for you. So there may not be much time or this thing for you to play around with. So that way I would say this time you can actually, when you're actually learning it, just try to extend it, get those curiosity done and do it. Yeah, there is actually a video, YouTube video itself, very, very good, nice video, where this guy is trying to make 3 different VM instances and trying to make it as each as a VM, sorry, each as a node, and then he's making it as a distributed environment. He's doing that. Yes, that IP, no. Oh, how exactly he did it? Did he have a separate IP? VM instance, was there any tweaking that is IP? I'm not sure. Okay, that is sent privately. So the Mac question is, will that have a same IP, share the same IP? But there is some way with which he is differentiating between that. I'm not sure, but for sure, I don't think I'll be having that much time to like into. But let me just try to Google and figure out. In case if I get it, I'll definitely share with you guys those information. Okay, that at least that YouTube video. In order to connect this multiple data node, Yeah, you can Google that. You should be able to setting up with a single node or something. He's explaining it pretty well. I'm not sure how exactly he's read it. So you have to see that. Okay. Now let's pick up quickly this so that at least 7 minutes left for me. Let me try utilizing that 7 minutes with the mapper and reducer. So so now what we said, I have a mapper and I have a reducer. Now let's explain just a mapper. So I hope you guys remember what we explained about a mapper. The 3 parameters that it picks up. What are these parameters? And you guys aware of, I mean, are able to recollect what exactly this input parameters what we had? What is the input parameter that we had? 4 input parameters we said. What exactly are those 4 input parameters? You remember, let me show you. You guys should not tell me, yeah, you didn't explain this. So I explained you with this step. You guys remember what exactly was this? Exactly. So input and output, key value. That's what we explained, right? Yeah, input key value and output key value. Great, Akash. Right? That's yeah, Mac. That's correct. So that's exactly what it is. So now what you need to understand. So I have input, I have output. Right? Input, output, input, output. So input key, input value, output key, output value. Right? That's exactly what it is. So now let's see. When our data, so looking at this, we explained what was this the first one? What was the first one? So you saw that this is how my data looked like, right? Yeah, first one is the key, correct. So, but what exactly is this? Hexa, right? So we call this byte offset or byte address, right? This is byte offset or the byte address. So this particular guy is our key, which is byte offset, and this is our actual data, right? So that's how we get it. So that is either it can be an object, it can be an int writable as well. Okay, we're going to see that int writable and all those things a little bit in detail. And this text is exactly the text which you're talking about over here. The entire text. Okay, this whole text is nothing but input value for me. This text, right? And then we have text as in. Let's park this aside. These two guys park aside as of now. Just 4 minutes. Is it okay to take 5 minutes additional? Are you guys okay with that? So that I'll put a logical end to it. Anyone having an issue with 5 minutes? I mean, even if one single guy is not really okay with the 5 minutes, I'll not pick it up. We'll pick it up. So it looks like everyone is okay. So let's extend a little 5 more minutes so that I can get a logical end to it. Okay. So this is input key and input value, right? So what we said, we don't really care about this input key, right? Because this byte address, it's of no use for me. I'm bothered about this value for me, correct? So that value, so this is my mapper class, right? I extended this particular mapper class, and it's the new class given, I mean, the new name or the new instance created, right? So new instance, let me explain the new instance in the next sessions. Okay, so just now understand that I have a main object created, and this is my instance created for that. Okay, so which I have one input key and input value. Now that exact input key and value is going to go. Forget about these two guys now. Okay, don't look into these two guys. So that exact same thing is directly going to go and place into this map method. So map method is nothing but, maybe you can treat it as map function, okay, or map method or whatever you call it. So this is my map method. So what will happen? This object is directly go and sit inside this guy. Okay, this guy is going to directly go and sit inside this guy. Okay, and this context is nothing but my output. When whatever I inside this function, whatever I write as an output is directly go and sit inside this context. Okay, is that clear? So input key, input value, and then this is the output, right? Okay, so I'm done with that, right? The key and the value I got. So now what we said, I really don't care about the key because I really don't care about this data, right? I need to care about only this data, right? So that's exactly what's happening over here. See this text, what is it called? This is value. This value is nothing but it's just a variable, okay? So I can write it as SHA val, okay? Even that's fine, right? So because what I want to just tell you is this is nothing but it's a variable, right? So here also it should be in that case SHA, right? So that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. So text SHA value, and that SHA value is what I'm really going to. So what will happen? This entire file, this entire first line is going to go inside this guy, right? So once I do that, I'm going to take that guy, okay, and convert that into .toStrings. Okay, now this is text, right? So now what you can, there's a difference between text and toStrings, okay? That also we're going to cover next session. So this text value, I first converted it to .toStrings. In the Java way, if you speak, I can have multiple functions available for this toStrings, and that's the reason. So text, I have certain limitations, whereas if I convert that to toStrings, I can do multiple functions on top of it. So one such kind of function is nothing but splitting words, exactly. So that my intention is splitting words. So that's why I'm just going to convert that to toStrings and then do a tokenizer. And by default, whenever a space comes, okay, I'm going to split that particular guy. So basically, whenever a space comes, I'm going to split that particular guy, okay, like this. So whenever space comes, I'm going to split it, and then I'm going to create and make him sit inside a ITR. ITR nothing but an iterator is what? So inside when ITR variable. So this is also a variable, okay? So inside this variable, I'm going to store it. So how does an ITR look like? ITR is going to look like, so this is exactly how ITR looks like. Okay, it's like Hadoop was this thing. So ITR of 1 is going to be Hadoop just like that. So that's how exactly it's going to look like. So inside this, now I'm going to write and extend a little bit more. Okay, so now once I get this, what I'm going to write a logic is ITR has more tokens. So in case if an ITR have more tokens, okay, so in that case, word.set ITR to next token. All right, and then. So where do I have the word.text? Okay, word.set. So this is where that word.text is. So this word is also nothing but my variable. Okay, word.set ITR of next token. So whatever is the next value available, I'm just going to set nothing but Hadoop. Okay, it picks up this Hadoop, and this is set as a word.set that particular next token. Okay, and then I'm going to write this word. So my first data, my first value, this Hadoop value has got inside this word. And then I'm going to write context.write. So context is what I said, nothing but my output step. This dot write word, which is nothing but my Hadoop, comma 1. Okay, Hadoop, comma 1. That's exactly, you guys remember the way we explained about the mapping process. It's going to be Hadoop, comma 1 or Hadoop space 1, right? This Hadoop 1, space 1. And what we had is 1, was 1, found 1, by 1. So that's exactly what's happening over here. So write.context, context.write, word and comma 1. That's exactly what's happening over here, right? No, it's not 2. Remember, it's not 2. So 2 processes happening in our reduce phase. So here now it's just 1. So look into this logic. It's just 1. I'm writing word and 1. Okay. And how do you see this 1? 1 is also a variable over here now, right? 1 you can see is here. So public static, final static, int writable 1. And then you can see over here, it's just 1, right? So int writable 1 is what this 1 variable is holding. So that's how. So instead of writing this 1, I can even write just straight away 1 over here. Even that's pretty fine. But this is more standard way of coding it. That's why we write as 1 over here. Is this okay? Let's park it aside with the mapper. So is it fine with everyone? Fine with the mapper. So what we did now is see this process. Exactly, this is what we did. So now in the next session, what you're going to see is how exactly reducer. So next session, we are going to do the reducer part, and we are going to see a little bit more on how exactly the same kind of stuff is going to happen for a temperature example. It's a real-time example. Okay, so that's also what we're going to see. Next token. Yeah, so these are all the functions available for this string.tokenizer, right? So I have next token available. I have all these functionalities is there since I converted into 2 strings, and all these things are it's our Java API, correct? That's correct. So for that is what I have imported my string tokenizer io.x. So this is where it's getting picked up from. Okay, this is all it's getting picked up from, right? And all the Hadoop part, MapReduce and all those things, remaining steps are getting picked up from here. So this doubt will get clarified if you try to do this. So my recommendation is, before you're getting into the next session, so make sure you are downloading that stuff, whatever I already showed you. Take that, run it, execute it, try to create this build path and all those things. A lot of questions will get answered. And in case if it's not, you make sure you're taking a note of it, and it makes more sense when you come for the next sessions. Okay, predefined. Yep. How it splits by space? That's exactly the magic that's been done by your tokenizer. So since now you had a space, right? So in case if it's not going to be space, what you need to do is inside this you need to mention. So by default, tokenizer picks up space. Okay. So in case, think of a scenario where you had a $sign in between. So here, if you had a $sign, so this was $, and based on this is what you had to split the data. Okay. So here also there was a $sign. So let me bring in some examples so that you understand. So this is how your entire data was looking like. So what you may have to do is you may have to do a double quotes and a $sign over here. This is how it's going to split. So I did not mention. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah. Converted 2 strings based on space is what it says. So hope that this tab available function. I have not used Eclipse. If does the tab prompts? Yes, tabs from available functions. Yes, it does. Yeah. So that you should be in Mac. It's command tab, command space bar. I think in Windows, maybe Mac should be able to. What exactly is that? It's a shift and space bar. Is it Mac where it prompts you for the next available functions? When you control and space bar. Okay, control and space. Great. Yeah, when in Mac space, it's going to be command and space. All right. Fine. Great. So let's park this aside as of now. So make sure you guys are taking the entire code and trying to execute it, create a build, create a jar and try to execute this. And then see, correcting this error itself is more than enough as far as my session is concerned. So that will give you a lot more confidence of how exactly you need to handle it and stuff like that. So all that being said, let's wind up for today and see you guys on next. Okay, I mean, I may have another issue with one of the sessions. I guess most of you guys wind up, so I'll explain that. So I will not be available on today, so you may have to postpone some of this session. So let's discuss that on the next sessions when we have. So today is what's okay. So we have a couple of more weeks available. So next sessions I'll explain. So where we may have to just extend it. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Good night. Then hope to see you in the next session. All right. Thank you.